What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Niner Sickness with the Niner Sickness Report. How's everybody doing? How is everyone doing? Your go-to Niner source for breaking news, analysis, and fan interaction. How's everybody doing tonight on this Monday Night Madness, as I like to call it? We're going to talk a little bit of football. We're going to talk a little bit about the Colts, who we are facing on Sunday Night Football. Who's ready for football? I don't know about you, but I missed football this weekend. When I say football, I'm talking about 49er football is what I missed. How is everyone doing tonight? What's up, Luke Luna? How you doing, brother? Lucky, what's going on? Basketball starts tomorrow. NBA, cannot wait. Kathy Sanchez says, hi, Beto. How your evening doing? My evenings is great, Kathy, the queen. How you doing? God bless you. I'm doing great, chilling like a villain. You know, wearing a Brandon Ayuk. Wearing a Brandon Ayuk jersey, and just talking to you fine people. Fluffy Ninja. What's up, Fluffy Ninja? Bang, bang, Fluffy gang. What's up, brother? Tanisha, how you doing? How you doing? And make sure, guys, real quick, before I forget, make sure to please wipe your feet before entering. Smash that like button. Smash that like button for me. Wipe your feet. I would truly appreciate it. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Luke Luna coming in with the big old words. Let's see here. Let me try to see if I can fit this in here. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. Was just listening to another channel. Man, they some straight haters at times. I'm frustrated to about the same some of the play calls and how we're using personally, I think you meant to say personnel, but we don't know exactly what's going on. I hear you, bro. The thing about being 2-3, Luke Luna, is that when you're 2-3, people are gonna always complain about something. They're gonna complain that Kyle Shanahan should go, he should get fired. They're gonna complain about this, they're gonna complain about that. Listen, we're facing adversity. We're 2-3, coming out of the bye. We're facing adversity. The season is still young. It's not over. I have faith in Kyle Shanahan. I have faith in John Lynch. I have faith in the personnel that we have, Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and company. I have faith in Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell, and Jermichael Hasty. I am confident in our offensive line. I am confident in our receivers, and I cannot wait to see George Kittle back. Listen, there's reality and perception. I understand. But I am a faithful. And what does it mean to be faithful? It means that you stick with your team through the good and the bad. Now, I understand you can be upset. I understand that you can complain and so forth. But let's keep it real. Why do we want to fire Kyle Shanahan? Why do we want to fire him? Because he hasn't called a certain plays to your satisfaction, because he hasn't done things that you guys feel that should be done. We should fire him. And the question that I oppose to that is that if we fire Coach Shanahan, who do we replace him with? Who are we going to replace an offensive mind like Kyle Shanahan? Should we call Chip Kelly back? I mean, I understand. I get into my feelings. I get very emotional myself, but let's keep it real. Allow those emotions to be part of you for the 24 hours and then let them go. Kyle Shanahan right now is the best solution for the 49ers. Jimmy G starting right now is the best solution for the 49ers. Do I want to see Trey Lance play eventually? Start, I mean? Yes. Is it ideal that he starts now? No. Based on what I saw last Sunday, or the Sunday before, excuse me, I was impressed, but not completely satisfied that he should be a starter. So let's get out of our feelings. Let's look at things for what it is. Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy G right now gives us the best ability to win. And that's what I'm looking for coming out of the bye. Let's see who's in here. No basketball starts on Wednesday, not tomorrow. Who cares about the Celtics, bro? The Lakers start tomorrow, so the season starts tomorrow, bro. Let's see here. Oh, Javier. What's up, Javier Rios? Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show. Javier Rios, make sure to wipe your feet before entering. Smash that like button. Smash that like button for your boy, Niner Sickness. Appreciate that. Who else do we have in here? What's up, Chemo? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you being part of the show. Hey, Nathaniel. What's up, Nathaniel? The Boston haters in the house. How you doing, bro? Can I jump on with you? Oh, yeah. I just read you. Yeah. I'll send you the link right now. Give me a second. Create a link. Absolutely. Give me a second, Nathaniel. Uh-huh. Oops, that's what I thought. Give me a oops. Let me send you the link, brother, and we'll get you on here. Absolutely. Uh, okay, I just sent you the link, Nathaniel. I sent it to you. Oops, I sent you the wrong one. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Okay, now I sent you the right one. All right. While he gets in here, let's read some comments. Yeah, I mean, I want to start saving receipts, and when the ship is right again, I can understand why people aren't happy when we're doing good or see the bandwagon load up. Yep, I hear you, bro. Yo, what's up, CJ Ruthless Sports? How you doing, brother? The problem is that our players are injury prone. That is a no. Kyle looks like he don't want to work with Lance. Lance needs work, and Jimmy won't be here. Losing time is something they don't have. But I just don't think that Lance is ready, Javier. I want him to be ready. I want Lance to play. I just don't think he's ready mentally. He's young, very raw. He has great potential. He's going to be great going forward. I've seen glimpses of beautiful things that the offense is going to be with Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance. But right now, Trey is not ready. He has so much on his plate. He's not able to decipher everything at once. Everything's coming at him, and it's causing him to hold on to the ball. It's causing him to not make the right reads, and it's definitely causing him to run more with and rely on his feet than his arm. And that's something that he needs to work on. That way, that's why I feel that Jimmy G right now definitely gives us the best chances of winning. Things are going to even out and start looking more normal as players come back. The ones that are supposed to run this offense this season. I hear you, man. I definitely hear you. But great point there, Javier. Niner, Stan, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Cute little dog. Cute little dog there, bro. I want George Kittle to play number 44. I want George Kittle to play. Number 44 to play. His nickname to me is T, because his name is so long. That is nickname to me, number 44 on the Niners. Now I hope the Niners win next game. Right on. Well, that was a lot of reading. Number 44, you're talking about Juice. Yeah, it's a definitely a big name. Appreciate you stopping by. Real quick, for those that don't follow me on Facebook, I have a group and a page on Facebook under Niner Sickness. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook. Also on IG, if you guys want to follow me on IG under Niner Sickness, or at Niner Sickness, I should say, you are welcome. Welcome to follow me on IG and support your boy. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Niner Sickness 49. At Twitter, Niner Sickness 49. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. And bang, bang, Niner gang from our boy, Nick Bosa. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful evening. I definitely appreciate you guys on this Monday madness that I like to call it. Um, we had to buy, as you know, we had to buy, and the Niners did not play. So I enjoyed other teams playing tonight. The Tennessee Titans and oh my back, excuse me, and the Bills are playing a great game of football. Many teams won yesterday. Um, the Cardinals are 5-0 or 6-0. Excuse me, they're 6-0. The Kyle Murray is looking pretty good, man. So the NFC West is definitely going to be a tough. It is tough already. We know that, but it's going to be even tougher for the 49ers. So the Niners really, really need to come out of this bye on fire with a sense of urgency, with a sense of pride, and hopefully with a completely new game plan. Hopefully, Kyle Shanahan was able to kind of self-evaluate himself, evaluate the team, and make the necessary adjustments, and just utilize his running backs more. And hopefully, we come out of the gate running the football, what is our bread and butter. Because being 2-3, although 2-3 is not a reason to panic, it's not a reason to panic. It is a concern, and you got the Rams 5-1, and you got the Cardinals 6-0. So, trying to be in that second spot in the division has gotten harder for the 49ers. That's keeping it real. So the Niners really have to win a lot of games to get back into the race of the NFC West. Niners cannot afford to lose any more games. They got to win. That's the bottom line. They got to win. Javier says, I said it plenty of times. We need it. Oh, we need Emmanuel Sanders back. Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders looked pretty good tonight. Has looked pretty good with the Bills tonight. So he's definitely a player that we sorely miss. Now, do we miss Emmanuel Sanders because Debo hasn't really stepped up? Because let me ask you guys, if Debo Samuel, I love when I do that. If Debo and Samuel, there I go again. Here, I promise you, there's nothing in here but lemon. Nothing in here but lemon. If Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel, if they both were playing to the best of their ability, although Samuel is, if Ayuk was doing his part, would Emmanuel Sanders really be missed? The fact that we feel that Brandon Ayuk might be underachieving a bit so far is the reason why we feel and we miss Emmanuel Sanders, Javier. Ruda, Rondo, welcome to the show. Make sure you smash that like button. Wipe your feet. I appreciate that. Let me get myself situated here real quick. Make sure this is working. La la la. All right. So, are we wiping our feet? I need to know. So, what do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see coming out of the bye? What do you guys want to see coming out of the bye? What are you guys looking forward to doing? I'm excited to see what the Niners are going to do after this bye. Give me a second. I'm trying to get my brother from another mother in here. So I just want to see a more productive running game for sure. Give me 1 second, guys. That's what I want to see going forward. Definitely. Um, this buy was much needed, and I'm glad that we got the buy. Looking forward to being rested, recover, and good to go. Now let me double check with Nathaniel. I think he's frozen. Nathaniel, if you can hear me, I think you're frozen. You might want to go out and come back in, bro. You may want to come out and come back in. Yep. He left. He'll be back in a minute. Let's see here. There he is. Let's get him in here. Give me a second, guys. Let's get him in here. All right, here we go. All right, let's bring in our boy, our brother from another mother. What's up, Nathaniel? How you doing, bro?
Sorry about that. What's going on, bro?
Good, man. How you doing, man? On this
Oh,
Monday night.
pretty good, man.
Get to see you, man. Get to see you.
Likewise, man. It's been a minute. Yeah, just busy as usual. It's the same stuff. That job is trying to be overwhelming with occupying my time. But yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
I
my
got you, bro. Got you. But I'm glad you're here, man. That's what's important. I'm glad
yeah,
you're here. So we're talking a little, as you know, we went into the buy. We come in. Excuse me, we're coming out of the buy. So I decided to come on here and do a little bit of Monday Night Madness. Talk about the team that we're facing on Sunday Night Football prime time, and which is the Colts, and the return of a DeForest Buckner, and talk
Mhm.
about the difference between. Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner. I know a lot of fans were very upset that we lost a player like DeForest, and I'm not taking nothing away from DeForest. He's a great player within his own right, but I think that Nick Bosa helps out a lot, both of these players, and you can see that Eric Armstead is still benefiting from the presence of Bosa and not so much DeForest Buckner. Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on that, Boston Hater.
Yeah. The bottom line is, uh, at least over the last few years, it's very clear that Eric Armstead, when you have outside rushers, I'm not just going to say specifically Bosa, but Ford is included in that. When he's got that around him, where it's creating other matchup problems for others, he really thrives in that situation. He's shown that. So I don't think that in that situation, because even when you looked at it, I was looking back at some stuff from 2019. And quite frankly, when you have people on the outside, Eric Armstead is a better player than DeForest Buckner. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, no, no. Uh, it's true. I mean, when they were right there next to each other and they had those guys on the outside, Eric Armstead was better. Um, Even today, when you look at what DeForest Buckner has done over 5 games, make it 6 now. Um, and you look at what Eric Armstead's done over 5 games. Eric Armstead is better. Yeah. So when he's not there, when you don't have that outside presence, he tends to kind of become a face in the crowd. He's very average, maybe, some lackluster performances at best. But when they've got that outside presence, he really stands out.
Yeah,
So
he sure does. He definitely does. And I seen that PFF tends to agree with you and about Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner, at least this season. I
yeah,
believe the grades are a little higher for Eric than they are for Buckner.
actually quite a bit higher from what I saw last week. So I don't think that it changed that much over just DeForest playing. Obviously, Armstead's didn't change at all. But yeah, he's I don't know that he's better per se, but definitely in the situation that he's in, he's better. And last year, Buckner put on a bunch of just fluff numbers at the end of the year. They were pretty comparable last year. There wasn't a lot of difference. He started getting in there against the Texans and some other team, and he put up a bunch of sack numbers in like 3 games. I think he had 7 sacks, and most of them, I think 4 of them were against Houston. Um, you know, uh, but when it comes to real tangible stuff like pressure, they were about the same for the year. They were really close. This year, it's not even close. Just as in 2019, it was not close. So, and Armstead has always been a better run defender than DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner has a tendency to get high and get moved around a lot in the run game, where Armstead is pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Welcome, Jay in the Bay. What's up, brother? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think people really underrate Eric Armstead. Now, is he great when he's by himself without the help of the edge? No, and we're first to admit that. I'm first to admit that. But when you have that outside pressure help there, uh, it's just something about Bosa putting that pressure on the outside that just kind of turns Eric Armstead into a different type of player for our team. And people may say, "Well, the sacks don't show," but as you know, sacks, even though they're nice, they're not everything. They're not true telling. The amount of pressures, the amount that he spends in the backfield, the amount that he's bringing havoc to those offensive linemen, is what really counts more than sacks for say by themselves. Explain to the viewers, Boston Hater, why is it pressure more important than sacks in your thought process?
Well, because, you got to think about it. You have in any given game, um, I don't know, 30 to 40 on the average, somewhere in between there, of pass rush snaps. And a guy gets a sack like every other game, a little bit more than every other game, and he gets 10, and everybody's hooting and hollering about, oh, yeah, 10 sacks. Well, yeah. But I've seen guys do that, like Beasley, who had 38 pressures in a whole season. That's a little bit more than 2 a game. If you're not disrupting those 30 to 40 attempts, and all you do is 2 to 3 of those 30 to 40 attempts, you're not disrupting anything. You're actually letting them throw the football pretty much uncontested. So what you want is, these guys, they get 4 and 5 pressures a game, and, there's probably something coming from somewhere else as well. Um, that's a bigger difference because you're hurrying throws, you're making guys throw off their back foot and sidearm around you, you're causing havoc. And havoc is always going to be more than tackling a guy uh, once a game. I mean, if you did it once a game now, that's 17 sacks. That's a really impressive number.
Exactly.
But if you're getting pressure only about 2 times a game, so what? Maybe the sack came on a great play where it was third down and it was late in the game. So everybody's going to focus in on that more. But you actually had a very crappy game rushing the passer, you know? So people seem to miss the fact that uh, it is far more important to make the quarterback do something he doesn't want to do as opposed to actually tackling him. I mean, it's always great to tackle him too, but uh, it is far more important to get those pressure numbers up and force them to, you know, check down or throw to the hot read, you know, something that's not, you know, giving them time to get downfield, take advantage of our secondary. Uh, that's another part of it. It's easier to cover when there's pressure on the quarterback because you don't have to cover as long and you don't have to cover as well because a lot of times those throws are not as accurate because they're coming out faster than they want to and they're not able to step into them the way they'd like to. There's a whole lot of variables that pressure create as well as turnovers. You know, you throw it bad, it ends up in your teammates' hands. So yeah, there's just all kinds of reasons pressure is a much more effective means of wreaking havoc than, you know, tackling a quarterback every once in a while.
Exactly. Like you said, if the defender is able to get a sack per game, and you go through a 17 game season, then that's 17 sacks. That's great, double digit sacks. But um, if you're getting a sack here and every other game you're getting a sack, but you're getting 2 sacks in a game, but no pressures. I'd rather have the quarterback be disrupted because let's be real, sacks are foretelling. Sometimes, like you say, it can come on a third and long. Sometimes the quarterback holds on to the ball and just moves to the left, and it happens to you just happen to be there, and the quarterback just happens to fall into your lap, and it's a sack. Or the quarterback falls and you touch him, it's a sack.
Yeah, you got some of those too.
Exactly. But that's not really foretelling. But if you have pressures, that means you are penetrating the line of scrimmage. That means you are getting behind those linemen and you are getting into the quarterback's face, and the quarterback is seeing you back there. And if he's doing that, then you're disrupting his timing. You're disrupting his view of his receivers, and you can cause chaos. And now the quarterback can probably make a mistake, throw the ball away. Everything. If you can make him miss his first read, is so important for a quarterback, and that's with
Well,
pressures.
well, not first read. Pressure's never going to get there that fast. First read is all about coverage.
Okay.
You know, once we get past that first read, now it's all about pressure. Because if you can get off on your first read, you almost don't need an offensive line.
So
You
it's
know,
always make sure they don't get past the second read.
make sure once they come off that first read, you want to be all in his business at that point because they just come too fast, you know. So
Yeah, Luke Luna says, tell that right now. Bosa got both of them paid. The difference in keeping Armstead that allowed others to get paid as well. I'm good with it.
yeah, I don't buy that. DeForest Buckner um, did enough to earn his stripes, and I don't think Bosa had anything to do with that because they were offering, you know, outright 17, $18 million a year to Buckner before Bosa was in the league. So yeah, I'm not buying that. He helped, you know, Armstead, and I'm not going to give him single credit for that because, like I said, you got another guy on the other side who has a tendency to, even in, you know, just pass rush situations, create a lot of havoc and make people have to double up on him because you can't keep him from screaming around the edge. And it kind of opens things up for everybody in that case. So, uh, I mean, Bosa is a big part of it, but when D Ford is available, yeah, that's a big issue.
Kathy's cute. She says, I'm on my computer, need to learn how to make comments like I do on my phone. Actually, the computer's a little bit easier once you get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But than it is for me because it's a bigger screen. But I was trying to adjust my level because my birds are upset at me today because I haven't taken them out.
I hear.
Okay, yeah. They're really mad because normally I take them out for a couple of hours. Today they have been grounded all day. So I apologize that. I'll try to lower it down a little bit. Kimo says, how many pressures did Bosa get in the last game?
I don't know. Yeah, that's
Let me know
something.
when you stop hearing them, Nate, please.
I don't hear them now.
Well, they lowered their voice, but
Oh,
so I'm going to keep it at 23, see if that helps. Did my voice lower down by any chance?
no, you're fine.
Okay, because I don't have my ear plugs in, so I can't hear myself. I mean, I can hear myself, but not through the audio. If that makes any sense. We out this Sunday.
We didn't play this Sunday. We have a bye week.
Yeah, I think he's referring to the Sunday we're going to play. In other words, he's referring to we're going to lose to the Colts.
Yeah, I don't really think so. One of the things I can point out is, we've been competitive in all these games, but one of the things I can point out is the quarterbacks were better to the teams we lost. The quarterbacks were not better than the teams we won. And I'm going to say, quite frankly, this quarterback is not better than ours.
Carson Wentz, yeah.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, he seemed to be better when he was with the Eagles than he has been with the Colts.
Well, in his for those couple of years where after his second year, like his second and third year, but after that, he just kind of fell off. He's not quite the same guy, and I don't really know why. He's got all the tools. He just doesn't come together. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So let me ask you, since I have you on my show, what game did you able to enjoy this weekend that wasn't it wasn't a Niner game or a Boston loss?
Of course, it was that one.
Yeah. That's why I had to make sure I brought that up, bro, because I know that's where you were going to go.
You knew I was going there first. Yeah.
So besides those two,
outside of that, actually, before we got on, that Buffalo Tennessee game was really pretty interesting, and I just caught the tail end of it too. Where Josh Allen gets stopped on a 4th and short and they lose the game. They were down by 3 points. He tried to do the quarterback run to no avail. But yeah, it was a real good game. I mean, it was a 3-point game. They had fallen behind and they got back in it.
You talk about tonight's game, right?
Came up short. Yeah, Buffalo came up short.
That run by Henry, when he broke it all the way for a touchdown, that was nice, man. That was nice. And then that play by Julio Jones where the ball hits the guy in the helmet, bounces up, and he has the awareness of where he's at in the field to make that reception and to bring into tippy toe himself and make that catch and bounce. That was pretty. I think even Julio Jones was laughing like, did I actually did that?
He was when that ball bounced off that guy.
Yeah. He was kind of like, wow, that worked out for me. But that was good of him being aware though of where he was, and I feel bad for the corner because it wasn't even his fault. The ball hit him in the head and the helmet, and went one way, he turned the other way, and he was kind of lost for that. People were saying he wasn't on there, and you know what I was thinking Nate, in this game tonight.
What's that?
I'm like, man, there's a team worse than us when it comes to injuries. Talking about the Tennessee Titans, I'm like, holy cow, they were dropping like flies.
Yeah, they've been pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, tonight alone, they lost I don't know how many players. And I'm like, wow. I thought I was watching a Niner game for a second. I had to look at the color of the uniform and realize it wasn't red. I'm like, Jesus. This is funny. Luke Luna says, I think Eric and Buckner are good players individually without Bosa. I'm not saying they aren't. They both deserve their money. Yeah, Bosa compliments them, of course, but at the end of the day, you earn your money because of what you do around other great players. Because let's be honest, Bosa was there in 2019. How good was Solomon Thomas? I'm just saying, you can't
Terrible.
say that players are good because of Bosa, right?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and you know what? And the thing that really makes me scratch my head is
don't say it.
Solomon
Don't say it.
Thomas
Don't
has
say it.
not been bad at
No,
all
he
this year.
has it.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he has.
And I
I
just
knew you
know,
were going there.
yeah, I was scratching my head looking at that. I'm like, this
He's been
dude,
very good for the Raiders.
he's
I
pretty
put it
good.
this way: he's been better for the Raiders than the two guys we picked up from them this year.
Yeah, but let's put it this way: Solomon Thomas has been better in 5, 6 games with the Raiders than he was with us for 4 years.
Yeah. He's
Yeah, yeah.
is that his way of sticking it back to us, bro? I don't know.
Um, you know what? Good for him. He went through a lot of rough times.
That's true. That's true.
And just never really panned out on the field. And I'm glad to see him playing good.
No, you're right. You're right. He didn't work out for us, but as an individual, I have nothing against him. He did go through a lot, losing his sister, and going through all that turmoil. Now he's finally getting a little his feet underneath him, and he's being playing as a player that the Niners wish he was with us. So, good for. Unfortunately, he's doing it for the wrong team, but for him, he's hopefully his career picks up and he does great. Because I have nothing against him individually, so I agree. It says Dang Henry beat the Bills, huh? Damn, they taking the what? They're taking the talk about them being rude to hope the Niners come out and play some way after the bye week. Did I read that right, or
I think he.
did I read it the way it is, or did I read it wrong?
Mm, I think
You want to
he
give it
put
a
a few things in there that I don't know. We had
okay. I want to make sure it wasn't me.
just a few typos. Yeah, but
Okay,
I you got the gist of it. We know what you're talking about.
got you. Okay, a minute there, I was like, "Wow,
Oh,
Cassidy, you are just not liking the Niners right now, bro." Please explain why you think the Niners often suck because we haven't. I, I tend to disagree with that. They've been struggling in the running game, but
well,
to say they
when
suck, that's a little far
when your
fetched.
when your main guys go down early in the year, and um, and then I'm gonna put some of that on Kyle too.
Yeah,
I mean, stop being hesitant to give the guys the darn ball. You're not running the football like you should,
yeah.
almost because it's like you're acting as though you don't trust these guys to run the ball. What'd you draft them for? Give them the ball. I mean, they're out there. It's what you've got. Give them the ball. You were giving Jarrett McKinnon the ball all that time last year
Yeah,
when
that
we were
makes
beat
yeah,
up,
bro.
and you didn't hesitate to give him the ball a bunch of times, and he was ineffective. So try these guys that have some ability and let them run the football, and let's play the game the way the Niners are meant to play football.
It seems like they don't even. It seems like they don't have an identity this year. Was like, do you think we have an identity based on what you've seen in the last 5 games?
We have not held up to it. Definitely not. But and sometimes you come in, you have to take it step at a time, and hopefully they'll get it together. Because if not, it's going to be a long, bumpy road. But we do have some fairly we got a soft spot in our schedule coming up here shortly. So, you know, we're gonna look better regardless as to whether we're actually better.
Yeah, that's so true. And the thing that does have me scratching my head is it's the the lack of running. You made a valid point right now. That caught my attention when you said that we gave the ball a lot to McKinnon last year more than we have, let's say, Trey Sermon, and he's been healthy. I mean, yeah, he had a concussion, which he was clear, but other than that, I mean, I don't understand. You're playing a rookie for the first time against the Cardinals, which defensively are not great in stopping the run, and you only give it to Trey Sermon one time for 7 yards through the whole game. I don't
And
understand
and
that.
you gave it to when Mitchell came back in that game, you gave it to him 9 times.
That's it.
But at the end of the day, your quarterback ran 16 times.
Now, given all
So
those were not designed play run, but
8 or
still,
9 of them were. So you're basically running
your
your
quarterback more than your running backs.
as much as you're running your primary back that carried it 9 times.
Yeah, I think you should have got the memo where you're supposed to run your running backs more than your rookie quarterback to help him out, not run your rookie quarterback to help out your running backs. I think he got the wrong memo, bro. Because that was atrocious. I do blame Kyle. I'm not in that let's get rid of him train or let's fire him. That's ridiculous. But
that's ridiculous.
I do hold him accountable for the play calling on last Sunday when we faced the Cardinals, because he needs to be held accountable, in my opinion, on some of those lack of running games. You moved up. The Niners moved up into the third with the Rams by all teams to get Trey Sermon, and then you're not going to utilize him. And I don't know what the true reason why that's not being done, but if it's something personal, Kyle, get out of your feelings. Check your pride at the door before the game in the locker room and play and coach. Deal with him on the personal side of it. Deal with him. But if he's going to be on the field now, if he's not on the field at all, that's one thing. But if you're going to have him out there dressed on one of the 53-man rosters, then why aren't you going to use him? Why don't you utilize him? And that's what gets me really scratching my head, Boston Hater, the lack of usage of this man if he's dressed up for the game.
That's true.
Which makes no...
You should be playing him, you should work him because you drafted these guys with the intent, I guess, because you had such issues with injuries at the running back position, amongst others, but at the running back position. So you got these 2 young guys basically to help solidify that and actually probably be the 2 guys going forward in years to come. So why would you, if you're down to that, hand them the football, let them show their stuff.
Yeah, I was under the impression that, of course, when they were drafted, having Raheem Mostert and Wilson available to us prior to Wilson getting hurt, and then Mostert, that they were going to slowly develop these 2 running backs into the offense. And I understand that maybe that's the thought process of Kyle, but unfortunately, crap happens. Jeff Wilson Jr. got hurt before the start of the season, and then the first game and the second play of the first game of the season, your starting running back Raheem Mostert gets hurt. Now you're thrown into playing your 2 rookies. Well, maybe that wasn't ideal. Maybe you didn't come into the season thinking you were going to start them that quickly, but hey, that's where you have to make the adjustments and see what works for your rookies and utilize them instead of trying to stay away from them. And that's what I don't understand.
No, definitely not. That's where I'm at with it too. I don't get it. I don't know what he's even thinking, because my thing is, you don't run the running backs that are rookies, but you run the quarterback.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. It's like,
that's something that you have to.
And if we're talking about ideal, we were going to work them in. Well, darn it, we were going to work the quarterback in too, but he had to be in there.
Yeah, and I know we're hammering Kyle, but in that same token, I've heard some people say that Kyle went for all. He shouldn't have went for all those 4th downs that he went in. he should have maybe did a field goal. And maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But I like that Kyle was.
I
I like that he
disagree.
was. What's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, Nate. Uh,
Aggressive.
Aggressive. Thank you. I like that he was aggressive with a rookie quarterback, and I just think that the rookie quarterback failed to get some of those first downs, in my opinion.
I, I'm kind of upset that he was as aggressive as he was because I want that aggression
Hmm.
all the time. I don't want that aggression. When you got a 4th and 1 and you're in plus territory, you don't punt the ball. When you got 4th and 2 and you're in plus territory, you don't punt the ball.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, down by the goal line, 4th down, maybe depending on the game situation, maybe you take the field goal at times, but he has a tendency when he has his best out there to be very passive and you know very cautious. But you get them rookies out there, and all of a sudden, now you want to be aggressive. And that 4th and 5, it depends on where it is. If you
You
got a
read my
fourth and
mind. I was saying that in my head, bro. You beat
yeah.
me to it.
Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you're in plus territory, like I don't know. Let's say your opponent's 43-yard line, and you got a 4th and 5, and you're out there. Especially, I think you're talking about the same game situation. You got a 4th and 5, and that's where you are. You can punt the ball because that's probably out of field goal range. Because at the 43-yard line, that's about a 60-61 yarder.
Yeah.
It's probably not a good idea to kick a field goal. Um, so maybe you go on that. I mean, one of the things that I see on a regular basis is look at the Baltimore Ravens. I guarantee you, more times than not, if it's a game that's kind of in the balance, 4th and 5, and they're within 7 points of you or they're behind, I guarantee you they're going for that. They're not punting that. Now, because of the kicker they have, they might try that 60-yard field goal. They might do that, but they are not punting the football at the 43-yard line. You can forget that. So I like the aggression, but the thing is, when the team is not executing, and mostly because of inconsistency with young players, that was really the issue in this last game. I mean, uh we had what, what is it, nine possessions in the whole
Yep.
game.
Yep.
8 of those 9 possessions, we were on their side of the field. We scored 10 points. That doesn't even add up.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to come out with no points. Absolutely, it's heartbreaking that you can't punch it in. And I like the theory that you had. Not really a theory, but your what's the word? A proper way of saying it? When they went for it by the goal line, and instead of him going high, because the defenders are used to
Oh,
him going low, he still went low.
mhm.
Let the viewers know what you told me when we were on the phone about that.
Oh, this is what I said. Well, anybody that watched that game, the thing you saw about when Trey Lance ran the ball, if he couldn't just, go out of bounds, which he only did a couple times, uh, when he finished his runs by getting low, getting to the ground. Uh, he even ran up, I think 4 out of our 5 offensive linemen ran up on their legs and, one time tumbled over Lakin Tomlinson, running up on his legs. He's really needs to be careful about that, by the way, because you can hurt somebody doing that.
Yes,
But
sir.
the thing is, when he was at that goal line and you're just trying to get that 1 yard, I mean, the 2 defenders that were there, bared down low, waiting for him to go low. They were down before he went down. If you do it all the time, people know you're predictable. He should have been up and over. And That's something that I'm sure that he'll take a look at and say, I can't be predictable like that. And he'll probably fix that. So I'm not really holding him accountable for that because it was his first start. But, he ran the ball 16 times and, 13 or 14 of those ended just like that. And the other couple ended out of bounds. So just a little thing I think he needs to pay attention to on that. Be mindful. Sometimes when you're just trying to get a foot, a yard, up and over is the answer.
And can it fall to the idea that we have talked, me and you have talked on the phone, where he just has too much on his plate, that he's not
I,
able to process too much,
oh,
and
I
he's having too
absolutely
many
believe.
decisions to make?
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, first of all, you've got this young quarterback that has mechanical issues, you know. So the reason why Kyle doesn't want to play him is because he has mechanical issues. Because there's certain things you just need to get on the field and learn. Like for instance, when you've got you know, they're running this two deep zone and it's this big 7-man shell coverage and you've got these in breaking routes that, whichever one comes free, you've got one on the right, one on the left, pick one, well, he was constantly picking the wrong one. And that's the kind of things you learn just by playing and getting used to those smaller windows, how coverages work are a little different in the NFL as opposed to uh, college, and the coverages are tighter. You're going to have to get those balls into smaller places. But the thing is, when you come there and you're trying to think about, okay, you know, first I need to look at all my pre-snap stuff. So he's looking at, okay, we did this, we send this man in motion, and all they did was just do a slight adjust. So I know that it's going to be zone, because if it was man, one of the players would have followed that man across, like a D-back would have followed the wide receiver across that he sent in motion. So he's thinking about that. And then you see like a linebacker jump into the A gap. So now, he's got that to think about. And now I might have an A gap blitzing linebacker. Well, so he's sitting up there trying to process all this stuff. And so now I got a blitz. So now I got to think about, oh, where's my hot read? Well, do I have one hot read or two on this play? Because some plays have two, some have one. And maybe he needs to check to something that has a hot read if his play didn't have one. So he's left to think of all this stuff. And you got to go through your progressions. And the one thing that he should not have to think about, that he has to think about, that makes this even harder, is he has to think about, well, how is my how's my footwork? How's my form? How's this? So he's thinking about things that should be automatic.
Yep.
And this is why Kyle talks about wanting to redshirt him. He's trying to get his mechanics correct. And if the mechanics are correct, now you don't have that to think about. That's just another layer of something to think about where, right now it's too much. He's not ready for that. And those that paid attention to his second half in that Seattle game, was it?
Uh-huh.
Well, in the Seattle game, they made it real simple for him, and he still struggled. They would run a play one time, and he would have, double seam routes. He would pick the wrong one the first time, and they'd say, "Oh, okay." And I don't know that they were in his ear, but it sure seemed like they were in his ear, because they would run the exact same play on the next play. Like, on this play, look to the other side. I swear that's what they were saying to him. So he looked to the other side, boom, he hits it. He hits the open guy. Now, maybe the throw was off, maybe because of a number of different reasons, but he made the right read. And there was about 4 times in that game that they ran the same play and he went to the right read the second time, but he went to the wrong read the first time. And if you're gonna, yeah, that means that he's got too much on his plate. He's not going through this stuff because he's thinking about things that he shouldn't have to think about. This is why Phillip Rivers did not start when he was a rookie, nor did he start his second year. This is why Patrick Mahomes did not start his rookie year. With all of his abilities and talents, he was not ready. And he was behind a guy that we can see clearly was not better than him. Those people that remember Carson Palmer sat a year behind John Kitna. John Kitna can't hold
Yep.
Carson Palmer gym socks, but he sat behind him. And this is the reason why all NFL quarterbacks don't come into the league ready to start week 1. Some guys have these things together. And, it's not things that a lot of us pay attention to on game day. All we pay attention to is when he lets the ball go, what's the result? Yeah. So that's not something that people need to really, it's like, oh no, he's a bust. He's there. Come on, man. He's played a game and a half and he's not ready.
Yeah. It's when I hear that as well, that he's a bust based on, he's a rookie. And one thing that I hate the most is when people do comparisons. Yes, I understand 5 quarterbacks came out in this year's draft, but they're all in different situations that you cannot measure them the same.
But I can measure them.
You can, but you can't equally measure them to each other. Like, in other words, you can't say Justin Fields playing better than Trey when Trey only plays 1.5 game, and Phil. I'm using that as an example, or even Mac Jones.
Well, Justin Fields isn't playing very well.
He played. I meant to say Mac Jones, but I didn't. I said Fields.
Because Justin Fields played the Lions. The Lions make the worst quarterbacks look good. So I'm not really holding that, but man, look at what happened to him when he wasn't playing them. It looks terrible. But he's another one. His mechanics are not very good. And they're going to mess that kid up over there if somebody doesn't reel that whole thing in. I feel bad for him, but I don't feel bad for the Bears, whatever. But I feel bad for him because they're going about this all wrong with them. And, they've named him the starter and he's just not ready for all that. And when stuff's really coming at him, it's ugly. Where Mac Jones, you move to him and his mechanics are pretty darn good, as are Trevor Lawrence. Now, they're out there making a whole lot of mistakes, both of them. But that's the kind of mistakes that you need to go out there and make to become better, because these are things that you're going to face all the time. These guys aren't having to think about their mechanics. They just have to not throw it into double coverage that they couldn't see because they're so used to what they see, especially Mac Jones. Mac Jones is terrible about that. He gets those little short and intermediate throws. When he throws them intermediate throws, he throws into double coverage constantly. Now, he's fortunate that a lot of them aren't intercepted because defensive players just don't catch very well. But he's had a lot of turnover-worthy throws, maybe more than Lawrence. But Lawrence has been unfortunate. They're catching a lot of his.
They're competing with each other for fact. I think it's Zach is leading.
Him and Zach Wilson are the ones that are throwing.
They're leading. They're going back and forth in the interception race. But you're right. And the thing about people understand that rookies, they do learn from their mistakes. Yes, some rookies that have no choice. Listen, this is where I want to clarify. Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a choice or the luxury to wait and develop behind someone. He's thrown in. Zach
He
Wilson as
doesn't
well.
he doesn't need to though. The thing is, if you look at Lawrence's mechanics, he's ready to play NFL football. His team isn't ready to play NFL
Yeah, true.
But you go out there and you got one wide receiver and one running back, and the running back's hurt. Good luck.
Now
You're gonna
Trevor
look at
Lawrence is ready, but not Zach Wilson. He was thrown into the wolves.
Zach Wilson's in a bad spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he would have been a quarterback that would benefit from sitting behind a year behind
Yes.
someone to learn as well. Correct?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yes, and you see it where he may develop into being that player the quarterback that people want him to be. But what happens if he becomes damaged goods because of all the hits and all the ints that he's throwing? A mental part of quarterbacking or any player, but especially a quarterback, is a huge thing in football. If you can't get out of your own head, it will affect your gameplay. And sometimes you can develop bad habits being thrown in there.
David Carr.
Yeah. Very good example. Very good. Coming out of the Fresno Bulldogs, the guy I think he won the Heisman Trophy, didn't he? Or
No, he did
no?
not.
Okay. But he was a high recruit.
Third. Yeah.
Third. And
third.
He went to a lousy offense. They couldn't protect anything. And his career just went down the toilet, and he was never able to recover. And he was a pretty good prospect coming out of college. So, to your point,
he was one of the higher rated quarterbacks coming out that year. Somebody who didn't have a lot of mechanic deficiencies. He was actually pretty good. But the thing was, you can't complete passes when your face mask is in the turf or you're on your back staring at the sky. And he spent a lot of time on the ground.
Yeah, it sure has. I
Matter
just
of
want
fact,
to welcome real quick Cardinals Rule. He's a Cardinals fan, a Cardinals content creator. Congratulations on your team being 6-0. Great guy. I had him as a guest when we play the Cardinals. Nate, great guy. Really, you'll like him. Very down to earth. He knows his football. So I appreciate you being here, brother. For those that want to follow him on his YouTube, that's his YouTube channel, The Cardinals Rule. Check him out. Great content creator. Javier says, "Hey guys, I gotta get some rest. My son has a doctor's appointment tomorrow." Sounds good, Javier. Hey, thank you for spending time with us, brother. I always appreciate you, man. Have a wonderful, blessed night, and handle your business. What's up, Coach Viewpoint? This is Niner Second is Beto, Coach Tim here. Hey, what's up, Coach Tim?
That's my guy, Coach Tim.
You changed your name on me for a second, threw me off, but
yeah,
I was gonna say it looks familiar, but how you doing, bro? Says, hope you are well. I am worried about our quarterback. We got this. Just take. I'm not. Excuse me. Worried about our quarterback. We got this. Just take time. Jimmy needs to stay healthy, and Trey can learn behind him. Get some plays. Yep. Sorry for misreading that there, Coach Tim.
Definitely.
Welcome aboard. Make sure you wipe your feet before entering. Wipe that feet and smash that like button for me, brother. Appreciate that. Cardinal says, thanks, your brother. Appreciate the kind words. Of course. I love speaking highly about people, especially for those that I like even more. Luke Luna says, you play Jimmy. It's clear Lance isn't ready, but more importantly, Kyle ain't ready to play the kid he didn't have. He didn't have plans to play. My reading today is lousy, by the way. Kid, if Jimmy struggles, so be it. It's his season to do so.
Can't argue with that.
My goodness.
The most important thing to come out of this season is to get the development that you want for Trey Lance going into the future. And, sorry, doesn't matter win or lose. That's the most important thing that can come out of this season. I hate to just put it like that, but you give up all those draft picks, then you're putting yourself in a position where you have to make good on that one. That pretty much dictates. I mean, the entire staff has basically put their entire everything on Trey Lance by giving up what they gave up to get him. So if he doesn't pan out, the whole staff, general manager, coaching, they're probably in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's not the case, but I hear you. 'Cause
No?
they gave
Well,
they gave a lot for him.
yeah. So the thing is, you got to make good on him. And you know what? You have to develop him the best way you believe. Now, the best way I believe is that he needs to sit. He needs to get all that mechanical stuff together before he's out there.
Yeah, very good point. And I know a lot of people said that Kyle was never really drafted a quarterback that he likes or of his choice. Now he did, so it's really writing a lot on Kyle, the performance out of this kid. So why not develop him the correct way so that we can get the best out of him going forward? Coach says Niner sickness. What we needed to do last game and going forward is run that rock consistently. That is a quarterback best friend. Trust me, I ran this scheme, and my quarterback flourished with that run game. Yeah, I was shocked why we didn't run that against the Cardinals. The lack of running that we did, I should say, was a surprise to me.
Yeah. And on top of the fact that, a running game and what else? A, a good pass catching tight end, right?
Yes, sir.
Got that.
We missed that.
They don't want to give him the football, but
that's another head scratcher right there.
They used him as an offensive lineman the first couple of weeks. What's my podcast? NWA podcast.
Niners with attitude, baby.
Yeah.
You got to check if you're not a part of it, which you are. You got to check it out. Seattle boy says Niners can't make the playoffs and always question Kyle Shanahan. You want to answer that?
Can't make the playoffs and always question Kyle Shanahan. I don't even know what that means, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, tough loss, Seattle boy. What is the record of Seattle right now? I think 2-4.
They're a half game behind the Niners.
Yeah. So they're in the fourth place. Kyle can develop quarterbacks, ruin Robert Griffin's career. Okay, I see some hate.
Hold on. Whatever.
Yeah,
First of all,
that's just hate.
Yeah, that's silly. Yeah. First of all, what ruined Robert Griffin's career is not being able to slide and get down when you're dealing with a 320 plus pound defensive tackle in Haloti Ngata. That's what destroyed his career. Yeah. It's time to slide.
Nothing to do with Kyle.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Kyle was the one that kind of cultivated that offense that made Robert Griffin rookie of the year, as I recall. So
and they made the playoffs that year, if I recall, with the rookie. So
yeah, they sure did.
I don't understand that concept. That's just hate, bro. It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
You're gonna get that. When you're 2-4, and when you're hurting, you're gonna want something to hurt with you. So it's all good. Coach says play action and tight end herself. George hurt much, so we need a backup to step up. Ross Dwally kind of steps up a little bit, but man, you can see the drop between him and George Kittle big time.
That's when you got one of the best tight ends in football, you probably don't have a backup that's gonna bring the same thing that they do. So I'm not surprised that there's a drop off.
Yeah. So yeah, and you're right. It's crucial to have Kittle, but unfortunately, we have to find a way. I personally would have loved to see, and he did some good plays. I'm not going to take it away, but the guy that I'm wearing his jersey today, which is Brandon Ayuk, I expect him to. I would expected him to step up a little bit more in the absence of Kittle, um, and I hopefully he does that against the Colts. Now again, he did do some catches against the Cardinals that I liked about Ayuk, but hopefully Ayuk can step up a little bit more in the absence of Kittle and help out Debo, especially since we're not running the ball as we should. That's that's the hard part. But I think that's what hurts all of us is just the lack of running. Coach says, "Thanks NWA, I am in." Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. And it's NWA podcast, so to find it a
Yeah.
little bit easier,
Mhm.
Coach. Says Jag says, I think we just have to be patient with Trey. Would hope that Jimmy starts the rest of the season, but put Trey in 8 to 12 plays in certain situations. Your thoughts?
I don't want him in that much. That's more than I would. I was thinking maybe like 6 max would be enough. I don't really want him out there to yeah, I don't really want him out there, too much.
Yeah, I agree. Five anywhere between 4 and 6 uh, plays on certain games, depending on what the defense is showing, would be okay. But 8 to 12, it's quite a bit. Again, the whole point of keeping him out is to continue to develop him and learning his mechanics. And if you have him 8 to 12 times, it's not the same as getting all the play for the whole game. But he needs to sit a little bit longer. I mean, before we know it, man, Trey's going to be the starter, and we're going to enjoy a lot of his uh, games. We just have to be patient. And I'm saying, and this is coming from a person that has no patience, saying this, but we definitely have to just kind of wait, and hopefully he learns his mechanics, and when he comes firing next year, we'll have very enjoyable games. But he did show promise. I gotta admit,
Oh,
he wasn't
absolutely.
ready. He's not. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not ready, but he showed a lot of promise of what he can do when he is ready, which I liked. So I want to make sure I say that in there. It says haters have. Um, ooh, excuse me.
Yeah.
That hurt. I burped and it kind of was. It was a. You know what? Take over, Nate. I gotta step away for a
Okay.
second.
All right. Oh,
Give me a second.
he says haters have masculinity issues. Go sit with the girls in the back of the room.
Stop.
Mm, yeah. Well, my thing is, people are going to feel the way they feel. Um, all I know is had a lot of opportunities over there in Seattle. Um, they've basically made good one time. And, you can say excuses, you can say whatever you want to say. The bottom line is Seattle's made good one time. So, you know, keep running with your ideas of your coaches, this, that, or the other. He's really only producing a team that gets to the playoffs based on the fact that they've got one hell of a quarterback and he carries them because once that Legion of Boom walked out the door and that crew is gone, defense isn't very good. Offense has a couple of big play guys, but outside of that, it's pretty thin. And when Russ isn't there, it shows. So good luck. And, you know, talk all of the if you want about anybody, Kyle, whatever. The bottom line is uh you got to go with who you think is best on yours. So over here, right now, there is not a better option than Kyle Shanahan. So the thing is, you can run him out of town. But the first thing I'm going to ask you is, if you were to do that, replace him with who? Because the person you replace him with has to be better. Can't be as good, because as good, you might as well keep him. So who are you going to trade him? I mean, who are you going to, if you fire Kyle, who are you going to replace him with? Because everybody that anyone would name that's better than them, they're working right now. So,
Good night, Cardinals rule. Man, I thank you for stepping up, bro. I don't know what that was, but man, that was painful.
I saw
I
something come up about trading Jimmy to Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't
uh
have interest in Jimmy.
oh Nick, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, did did I miss something? Did Baker get hurt?
he did get hurt,
But
but
is he
he's
hurt
not
like
hurt,
out?
not out for the season. No.
Yeah, I mean that's what I thought. So yeah, no, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's hurt, but he's not gone out for the season. But yeah, man. So there's a lot of things that I think the Niners should have done this 5 games, but the end of the day, the reality is we're 2-3. It's still an early season, Nate, and this bye week. I mentioned this before in one of my shows that when I seen the schedule come out, and I saw the bye week 6, I'm like, man, that's kind of an early bye, but consider everything that it has transpired these first few games that we played. I'm kind of glad the bye came in when it did, allow some of our players to recover. I know we're getting Jermichael Hasty back, which is a positive thing for us, and allow Kyle to maybe regroup, go into his mind process and trying to think of what he's been doing hasn't been working and maybe change it. And hopefully he'll come out, which I like to call the second half of the season, and start running the ball more. Because obviously I mean, I'm hoping his assistants will tell him, "Hey, Kyle, the shit you're doing is not working. Get your head out of your ass and make some changes to keep it nicely." You know what I mean? So, adios, Kyle Shanahan is overrated. Well, I don't know about
Yeah,
overrated. He
yeah,
might not,
you know.
So we'll see. We'll see. Pete Carroll is not that good of a coach either, but
Yeah, well, yeah.
he is.
he
But I know. But
he's not.
it
He's
sounds nice saying it.
this way. But the thing is, he's only done so much, and a lot of it, I think, with them is what are they doing? A lot of front office, their drafting is not that good. Um, they're not able to really replenish what they put together, and for whatever reason, their defense, which was the strong suit when Russell Wilson first got there, is now terrible, and their offense is pretty much predicated on 3 players, 2 wide receivers and a
Quarterback.
quarterback, and that gets them a long way, but it's not getting them over the hump, and it probably won't, because you need a team to win, and quite frankly, you don't have a team, so you can keep referring to Kyle overrated, yada yada yada. Who cares? Bottom line is
Let me
you
ask
don't
you,
have
Nate. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you,
it.
who's the more benefactor to that team, Seattle, Wilson or Pete Carroll?
What do you
In
mean?
other words, if you have to remove one of those two pieces, either the coach or the
You,
quarterback,
rem- you remove the whole team before you remove a franchise quarterback. Everybody in the front office, the owner, and everybody. If
exactly.
you
So
got a
that
franchise
team has
quarterback,
won those games that they won because of Wilson, not necessarily
oh
because of
yeah,
Pete. So I just
oh
want to
yeah,
make sure that
yeah, that's for
people
sure.
that give Pete Carroll too much credit before Wilson, he wasn't winning too much. So it's a matter of, I mean, it's a mixture of both. I get you, but uh, the blessing in disguise for Seattle was that they picked up a good, and I give the scouting credit for that, for picking up a good quarterback in the third round. I believe he was drafted. So and it has worked out for you guys. So congratulations. I mean, I don't like the Seahawks, but uh, I think Russell Wilson's one hell of a quarterback, and you guys are blessed to have him, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And Cassidy, that's all fine and dandy. The bottom line is football is a game where you got 11 players on the field for each team. And if all you can see at the end of the day is, you know, it's all about, there's not only just the fact that somebody plays and they win the game. There's the why did they win? And a lot of times, if the why is really heavily dependent on one person, you're probably going to be limited. And one of the things that you've seen is, man, every year that Russell Wilson's been in the NFL, guess what? They went to the playoffs. This is his first, this last game was the first game he's ever missed in his career, and he's in his ninth year. So you've got a quarterback that's actually playing on a level that would say, he's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
And you got somebody on that level, and he carries your team because it doesn't make your coach better. It makes your, overall, when you talk about 11 on 11, if your guy is that dominant, sometimes you can win games, and you notice that they have a habit of winning a lot of close games because their defense isn't that good. The offense has to score a lot. So that's kind of what you end up with. They win a lot of games, but when it gets down to it and they get in those playoffs now, what happens? They get in there against a better team. And, a lot of times when you get into the playoffs, the quarterbacks now are better too, because the better quarterbacks usually end up in the playoffs. And if they got a better team, and if the quarterback's close, Russ might not be enough. And in a lot of cases, he's not. Yeah. And Pete Carroll out coaching. I mean, did he really? I mean, as close as that game was, and, as much was made of all the miscues and little silly, you know, was it really out coached? Or was there just a couple of little foolish, terrible mistakes? And, having to go to a backup quarterback in the second half that really made that happen. There's a lot of variables when you're just looking at one game. So,
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Just I was reading some of these comments, but
yeah, I
you
see
know,
it. And
I
he's,
understand. I understand when you're 2-3, there's going to be upset Niner fans. There's going to
yeah,
be some finger pointing.
yeah,
People are going to want heads on a swivel, but you can't overreact. This is a time of adversity where they got to pull together and stand with one another and fight through this. Trying to throw players or trying to throw the coach into the wolves to me, is not the way to do it. Has Kyle Shanahan made some bad play calling? Yes. Can he do better? Yes. But to say that he's underrated or we should get rid of him, to me is that famous phrase that you like to say, people getting in their feelings and taking things
oh yeah,
personally,
oh yeah,
because that's not the rational thing to do. You don't fire someone because they're struggling a bit. Look at it. Look at the situation that we're in. missing some players. Given that he's not running the ball, and that's something that we can hold him accountable to. But
Yeah.
to try to get rid of somebody, and then you don't have nobody to replace him with, it's like trying to buy. It's like selling your house before you buy another house. Where are you going to live? You got to make sure you're prepared before moving on. So we just gotta understand, man. You know what? We're 2-3. The season's still early. I don't know what the future has. I don't know what the records are going to be going forward, but I'm interested in seeing what Kyle does this Sunday night against the Colts. Let's see if his mentality of running the ball it comes back to him. I think he will. I think he'll get back to his principles. I think he'll begin to run the ball. I think he's smart enough to realize, okay, what I've been doing for these last 5 games have not been working. Do you think what Kyle is struggling with this year, Nate, is having a new quarterback and trying to figure out how to use him, or B, losing his one of his offensive coordinators in Lafleur, or neither?
I think neither. I think his issue is
Yes.
he's I really think he's got too much on his plate, and I always have. I think that he needs to take a step back from all this. I want to be the offensive coordinator slash head coach slash. You've got all these guys in your room that you trust. Why are you putting in there, calling the plays, doing it? Why not just be the head coach and manage the situation? Kind of similar to what Kansas City's coach does. He doesn't call the plays, but there's probably about 4 or 5 times that you have a play where he'll overrule his offensive coordinator in a game 4 to 5 times. But the other 60 plays plus, he's calling the plays and he's not even in on them. And I think that's probably a motto that would be better for him.
Yeah. Not to change this subject a little bit, but I do want to address this. This is kind of, when I hear a comment like this, it kind of does annoy me. When they reference Sean
McVay,
Kyle Shanahan,
but he can't outcoach him, and he loses most of the time they play.
Even when the Niners have no players.
That's pathetic. Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, the point too is, look at what Sean McVay took over when he became coach of the Rams, and look at what Kyle Shanahan had to deal with when he took over the Niners. 2 different scenarios.
Well, first of all, when you start putting those first 2 years in, you can't blame Kyle for the first 2 years at all. They rebuilt the darn team from the ground up. I mean, there was only like
2 players.
Well, by the time they got to it, there were only 6 players on that roster in 2019 that were from when he got there. So you totally revamped the entire roster in 2 seasons. And you weren't winning a lot of games because you didn't have a lot. You were putting new talent together. So I get that. And then you had a good year. And then last year was a train wreck. But that was injury riddled like it was nobody's business. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. So
the first year that Kyle had a healthy team, what did he do? Can you okay, I don't want to hear he didn't win the Super Bowl, whatever. But what did he do? He got the team to where? The Super Bowl? So
yeah.
Sean McVay went to the Super Bowl, but he got the same outcome than Kyle did. Now,
yeah, but he got 3 points though with the best offensive football. You're such a good coach, but you went there and scored 3 points with the number 1 offense in football.
Yeah, the only one that scored was your field goal kicker.
Yeah,
that's bad.
I mean, and when we actually play you with a starting quarterback, you lost every time. Yeah, Jimmy has never lost to a McVay coached Rams team. So
Yeah,
is
you got to keep
is
these in perspective. I mean, I understand we're frustrated. I understand we're mad, but when
yeah,
you're throwing things out there
some
or
things
making
just
comparisons with
don't
no
make sense.
facts behind it, you're going to be called out. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
just
terrible.
yeah, yeah. When you compare, and I had to bring that up because I see that a lot, bro. The Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan reference, but yet the last the last years, the last 4 games, even with a bad quarterback and bad team, we beat the Rams. Kyle Shanahan out coaches McVay, so it is what it is. Kyle, has a lot to blame. Of
Yeah.
course, am I sitting here defending Kyle 100%? No.
Oh
Does
no.
he need to cut it out, like I just say, and get the shit back together, and start, getting back to his what has worked for him? I think Kyle can be the worst, his own worst critic. Man, he thinks too much, he does too much, and he tries to be too cute at times, and it backfires and bites him.
Yeah, he seems to overthink things that are really simple.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, very, very, very true, man. So, but yeah, anyway, I we've been on here for almost an hour and 40 minutes. It's been fun on this Monday night, and we have quite a bit of you guys watching. But unless you're not tired, it's up to you. We can
Sure.
go for another half. We can go for another half hour if you want.
I'm good with that.
All right, we can go. We'll go until we hit the 2 hour mark. All right.
Mhm.
Coach says I keep saying Timo, but anyway. Yep, that's right. Jimmy has a not lost to the Rams. Rams fans just full of themselves because they are 5-1. But who have they beat? Uh, yeah, I mean they're still 5-1. I'm not going to take that from them, but
Yeah,
you're right.
nothing wrong with 5-1.
No, no, yeah, they're second place in the division. I mentioned this in the beginning of my show tonight before you stepped in here that the Niners are really they are they're 2-3. It's not the end of the world, but they are in a pickle in a sense where we're in a tough division. We are behind the Cardinals at 6-0 and the Rams at 5-1. In your opinion, Nathaniel, and I want to address this to you. In your opinion, how many games do the Niners have to lose before they? Let me see if I can word it. What's the word I'm looking for better? They already lost 3 games. How
Mhm.
many more games can they afford not to lose before we not make the playoffs in this
Oh,
competitive division?
no, I don't know.
Because it's
Because the
being
bottom
behind
line
six and
is
one, it's a quite a bit.
when,
It's hard.
when you're when you're behind somebody by 3 games and you've already lost to them, that's a pretty tough thing to come back from. So that's I don't know if that's really because if you're talking about winning the division, the chances are very slim. But
No, I was just hoping to
these
make the
are
playoffs.
these are the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
I'm still not too convinced that they're as good as their record. Um, you know, they clearly showed last year that they weren't as good as their record because they rolled out there. What were they, 6-3, and then ended up 8-8?
yeah, 5-3. Yeah,
No, 6-3,
were
and they
they?
ended up 8-8. Yeah,
But now, I'm not to take anything away from them. They did lose Murray for a while, so
they
that
lost
didn't help.
Murray at the end of the year after
Was
they had
it?
lost all them games with him in there. Yeah, so
I didn't
yeah,
follow him, to be honest with
and
you.
I'm not saying that that's what they'll do again. I'm like, hopefully something's come from that, if because if they don't evolve, that kind of stuff reflects on coaching. When when you come out and you can roll through 9 and 6 and 3, okay. But then you end up 8-8. They're looking at the coach. They're not looking at the players on that. Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that we could 10-7, we could probably still make the playoffs.
10-7. So that gives us a 4 game bracket. So we
Yeah.
can't really afford to lose more than 4 games per se.
Yeah, and when you look
That's
at
what I was
that,
trying to get out. It didn't come
yeah,
out right,
that's
but
yeah, that's probably, you know,
I know you're reading this. I just might as well put it up.
yeah, that's what I and I was like,
Because you were talking and you
okay,
stopped, so I knew you were
you
reading
know
it.
what? That 33 and 39, I just want to put this in perspective because this stuff, facts are facts. Bill Walsh was 33 and 37. How'd that turn out? That doesn't mean anything. If all you can do is quote numbers and statistics, it means nothing. You have to look at this for what it is. What kind of coach are you? You know, how does he put things together as far as, when it comes to him and his general manager, the team, do they have good components to make a, complete team? Do you have the ability to coach players up? And you have to start looking at all these things. Can you scheme your players to be successful? These are the things you look at. You want to pay attention to records? Go ahead. I mean, like I said, Kyle Shanahan took over something very similar to what Bill Walsh took over, an absolute dumpster fire. And so, if you want to take his early years and hold them against him, that's on you. Good for you. But the bottom line is, you can't even consider the first 2 years. There's just a wash. You just throw those out. So it's not really a good take when you come up with something like that. I don't understand why you are on this. Sounds like to me that this is a person that is a true, uh, that you're a true fan, but you're a true fan with some high running emotions that, can't just stop to actually look at, hey, this is what uh, you can do. But, oh, he hasn't been coaching that long. So nice try. But, you know, sounds like you run some real high emotions and you can't see the reality. That's what I see. And it's up to you to be able to take a step back and look at the whole thing. I'm not praising Kyle. I'm not dissing him. I'll tell you what I see, what I feel, and you're using record. You're the one that threw the record up here. So me comparing him to him, I'm comparing record just like you are. It doesn't mean that Kyle Shanahan is Bill Walsh, but you threw it up there like you were comparing these other clowns to Kyle, where these guys didn't have the same issue Kyle had. You know, McVay got there, and in year one, they were winning the division in 12 and 13 games with the talent he had.
Yep.
Kyle had a dumpster fire, but you want to compare the two.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
ridiculous.
can't, you can't, he can't beat Kyle head to head. He has severe difficulty trying to win those games, but he's a better coach. Shoot, when Kyle doesn't have a better team, he has difficulty beating him. Man, whatever. I don't, I'm not even going to entertain that anymore because is he a is he a good coach, Kyle Shanahan? Sure, he is. Could he do better? Absolutely. And it is going to be bestowed on him to actually, you know, take this young quarterback that he's going to have to develop and with all of the other components to this team, he's going to have to make them a successful team. You know, they've had a lot of tough times, injury bugs. And, injury bugs get coaches fired. So, there's only so much of that that's going to be acceptable. But, when it comes down to it, Kyle Shanahan, for in all intents and purposes, 2 years. He's only had 2 years, and this will be his 3rd year that you could actually judge him based on wins and losses. So, the first 2 years, you just throw those out. But, 2019, I'll give him last year, even though injuries, yeah, they kind of put those on the coach anyway. So that's it. So if you want to really look back at those tons of losses that he piled up in his first 2 years, you go right ahead, because it's like this. You know who the winningest coach in 49ers history is as far as winning percentage? George Seifert. But look at what he was given. He was given a defending Super Bowl champion team that turned around and did what? Won another Super Bowl. So if you start with a good team, you have a good team. I mean, if you have to build a team, that's a different ball game. So,
Yeah, all you got to do is make sure you don't screw it up on a good team. But rebuilding a team or starting from scratch is, people don't realize that that's not easy to do, man. It's hard to build from scratch up and to get to the team. I mean, how long did it take, Kyle, to get us to the Super Bowl from rebuilding the team? Like 3 years, especially with losing the quarterback year 2 or year 1.
And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You know,
Now,
you got
does he make some bonehead plays or calls?
sure.
Yes.
He even made him that year.
But one of the things that one of our friends and colleagues, Florida Mike, likes to say, he is a rookie, or you might have said it too, he's a rookie coach. And people forget that. He may be a very experienced coordinator, but as a coach of handling all the affairs of an NFL team, he's a rookie. He's only 5 years in.
He's a little green. This is year 5. He's not even 5 years in. He's 4 years.
He's in year 5. Yeah. So again, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm making excuses. I'm not. I'm just saying that, just like quarterbacks, just like players, he needs to develop. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now you know where he's getting his information from.
I officially just checked out Grant Cohn. All right. Enough of that. Anyway.
Well, that explains a lot. Yeah.
You know what? That answered it. That brought everything to life.
Into perspective of what it is. Listen, people do need, everybody's entitled to listen to who they want. And that's the beautiful thing of living here in America, the land of the free, supposedly. But,
yeah, supposedly.
Yeah. I make sure I said that clearly. Yeah. But listen, some of us have to be real careful who we listen to. A lot of talking heads that you got to find out why are they saying the things they're saying? What's their perspective? What are they trying to gain? Are they really educating you on true facts, or are they trying to gain you to follow? People got to put that into perspective, man. But again, everybody's entitled to follow whoever they want to follow. But but thank you for clearing that, because when he was talking, I was getting a little bit of a Grant Cohn feeling. I wasn't sure, but it was confirmed. Thank you.
I wasn't feeling, because I really, I stopped listening to him a long time ago. But because
I'll listen to his dad.
He's pretty much.
I won't listen to him.
He's all about the clickbait, and he typically chases negativity simply because it gets more attention. Yeah. Just like he succeeded in getting attention, right here in this chat. He's succeeded in getting a lot of attention.
And people are passing his information.
Eric Paz.
What's up, Eric Paz? Welcome to the show, bro.
Go away, Eric Paz.
Go away. Well, he can stay. Just his Red Sox need to go away.
Yeah, I mean, can I delete that message? Or
just like Lucky, I told him basketball starts tomorrow. He's like, no, it starts Wednesday. I go, well, we're not talking about the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
No, it starts. Of course, starts tomorrow. But he was referring to his Celtics. But I thought that was funny. We have to stay committed to the running game and our tight ends and little more. This will help whichever quarterback is playing. Is Hasty coming back from? Yeah, he's healthy. He should
Um,
be back.
they definitely opened his practice window. I
Did
don't
they?
know if he's
Well,
playing or not.
you know what's?
They took him off of the IR.
Oh, did they? I wanted to
Mhm.
mention something just because it came to mind. Uh, Whether the person sees this or not, I'm not trying to come out being disrespectful, but somebody in my show who prides himself of being very what's the word I'm looking for? Um, a DB disciple uh, of the secondary was very eminent of Devontae Harris being the savior of the team, and he is no longer on the team. He was cut. So I don't know how somebody that's not on the
Yeah,
team no
we're in
more.
deep trouble in that case.
Yeah, yeah. How?
I,
I'm sorry. It
I,
popped into my head, so I wanted to say it. How is somebody going to
I,
save us when they're not? They can't even make the team from the
yeah,
practice
I
squad.
mean, I always thought that that was pretty, you know, a pretty big reach. A guy that first of all was didn't get to the active roster, uh, and he was on the practice squad, and then he got hurt, and then he got cut, and then he came back to the practice squad, and he got cut again. I mean, it's just not a guy that I think is really going to bolster your secondary. I was just wondering what was he talking about? But hey, you know, entitled to opinion, even though I don't understand why he's saying it. Yeah, so be it.
Yeah, I agree with you as well, and I agree with Coach Tim. You know, it's so true. I like the way he says it. You know, negative naysayer out of there, and those who think more of himself than he is, questioning. He's a
You know
spoiled
what?
child. I love it. A spoiled child is it's. If
I'm
you watch Grant Coney against his dad, even his dad says it on the air. You know, but you know, like, again, I just want to say everybody's entitled to speak their opinion, and people are entitled to follow those who they want to follow. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm not bashing Grant Cohn. I'm not being negative towards Grant Cohn, but
I am.
well, I'm not. But uh, I'm not gonna follow him either. Like I said, people that want to follow him, that's great. People that don't, that's great. Some people follow me, some people don't. That's all good.
Hey,
But you just got to be careful, man. Make sure you question everybody you listen to and see what their motives are behind it.
yeah.
Um, and I wanted Vish. I wanted to Eric Pauses. I like Vish. I do, but Vish, unfortunately, is a little bit of a product of Grant, and sometimes the student just can't get away from the master in a sense, and find your own identity. I think if Vish can kind of get away and find his own identity, he may be better, but it is what it is. But those are guys that talk their stuff, and so be it. And if you are one that like their shows, hey, more power to you. That's the beauty of YouTube. You know when they come on and enjoy their show. Uh, Enjoy their show. Um, you won't see me on there, but go ahead and enjoy. It says Seattle Boy says the Seahawks are
Yeah, he's only said
overrated
that
and
about
never
4 or
winning one.
5 times already in
I
the
know, I know.
in
Well,
there.
you know, he's a
Whatever.
he's a Seahawks fan. You know, what do
Yeah,
you expect?
but you know what?
The
If
education doesn't
but
go too high.
yeah, it's like but you keep saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
and
certain words that mom allows him to speak.
whatever.
So,
But
yeah.
you know,
Let's see, Coach Viewpoint. I got to get used to that. Yes, I believe in free speech, but that don't mean I won't counter it either, if needs to be. Oh, you're speaking to Nate's words now. We are two peas in a pod, very similar in our views and exposing dumbs.
wow. Yeah, you know.
Tactics and exposing dum dums. Well, you know that show Dumb and Dumber, man. That was a hilarious movie, by the
Um,
way.
You know what? I'm gonna ask a question, and I might end up wearing this as a badge of honor. Who's Jackhammer?
Oh, Jack Hammer is a beat writer for the 49ers. I forgot where out of, and he's pretty good. He also is a Grand Cone disciple,
Oh, well,
but
then
he brings his own flavor. He's not. There's also like not Nick Nyler. I forgot his real. There are a couple. There are a few of them that came out of Grand Cone. One thing about Grand Cone, he does give you the floor to open up and become. He allows you to grow your YouTube as a content creator because he gives you exposure, which is nice. But some of these individuals do their own thing, and this one guy, and I do watch him, Jack, but he's a beat writer. I forgot for what magazine but he does cover the 49ers. Um, but he's all right.
yeah,
He,
I have no idea who he was.
yeah,
But if he came off of Grant Cohn's tree, that's probably why. Like it, I can't watch him because he has Grant Cohn on his show too often. So I just kind of shied away from it. Like I don't want to hear this.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like every third or fourth show he had, there's Grant. It's like
yeah. Well,
no,
he's for what I see of that, Nate, is that he's just, um, I guess he's just grateful for what
oh,
he's
and I
gotten from him.
completely
So
understand. That's fine.
this is where I feel that he should step away and become his own person. But you know,
Yeah, well,
at the end of the day, man, everybody gets to choose who they want to listen to and who they don't. Um, our brother Cassidy likes to listen to Grant. Boston Hitter doesn't, and that's the beautiful thing of this, that one can and one doesn't choose not to. So, and nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's
yeah.
just a matter of a choice, in my opinion.
And my philosophy is you don't need to listen to what any of them are saying. My thing is, even those that don't really know football in and out, you can watch football. And you know what? And I'm not talking about listening to football because a lot of us do. A lot of us listen to football. Uh, but what you have to really pay attention to is, when you're sitting up there talking about a player doing A, B, or C, well, you need to watch, because you get caught up in one or two plays that really, stand out to you, and you miss the other 65 plays that they played. And, you know, they could have really had a good game, but a couple of bad plays, but, you know, and missed the fact that this player really played well and consistently plays pretty well. And you don't need anybody to tell you that. You can see that with your own eyes. And that's the best way to see it is with your own eyes.
Yeah.
You know,
And
don't don't go looking at the statistics. Don't go looking at you know, PFF. It's PFF, but if it matches up with what you saw,
then it's
it's
good.
fine.
Yeah,
But it doesn't always. I can tell you because I look at the games and then I look at PFF, and you have a couple of bad plays. He's got this mediocre PFF grade, but he actually played really well.
yeah. Not even PFF can't always get it right on each
No,
game, each player. So
no.
they're
Those who are um familiar with Football Outsiders, DVOA, same thing. DVOA is different, but you really have to, because you'll see these people. uh First you get these numbers, and people will go by numbers. There's people that are like, it's all about the stats. This is not fantasy football. It's not all about those numbers. And there's a lot of people playing good football that the numbers don't always indicate, especially when you're talking about uh linemen. that's a real wisdom. And I'm talking about offensive and defensive linemen because see, we talk about pressures here all the time. Pressure is something that if you watch a game, you'll see them. If you look at stats, you're not going to know about them. So, am I being asked questions now? Good God. How do I feel about Brunskill? No, Brunskill's done all right. He's done a lot better than what I expected from him. So kudos to him for that. But I would still love to have an upgraded right guard, but I don't have nothing bad to say about him so far this year. He's done pretty well.
For what he's given and the choice that he had to be put in, yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Timbo says, Nate, have you been on Bashar's podcast yet?
I have not been on it, but I have definitely seen it. And he says that he wants to get me on there, so we'll get it together eventually.
Good night, fella. Yeah, we're going to be calling tonight. We're hitting that 2-hour mark as well. Yeah, it's been going fast. So, Eric Paz, congratulations. Close your ears there, Boston hater. Congratulations on your win today on your baseball team. I'm not a Boston guy either, but Eric Paz is he's a cool dude.
Yes, he is. I like Eric.
Eric knows I'm doing it for him.
Yeah, me and Eric talk quite a bit. Yeah,
God, that was a hard statement to get out.
Eric knows I'm just pulling his chain. But wait a minute. But Eric, have you watched the NLCS? I just want to throw that out there real quick.
I know the Braves won the first game. What did they win? They
won the second game too.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm not a Dodgers fan, so I'll root for the. Well, yeah.
I don't dislike the Dodgers. I don't care about the Dodgers.
I watched the first game with Braves. That was that was a nice game. I didn't get a chance to watch the second one. Oh. So they're 2-0. Good.
I'm not familiar with this guy here.
Jack, he's pretty cool. What he's great discussion and great guest. Niner sickness. He's a cool guy. He follows me. Great guy, man. Very respectful.
If you want to hear more of me personally,
I like that. Look at
you're gonna have to watch the NWA podcast because that
was sweet there, Nate. Love it. Yeah. Walked right into that one. Yeah, you watch us on the NWA podcast, Jag, and on YouTube. Now we're only YouTube there, although I'm only YouTube tonight as well. But on the NWAs, you're only gonna find us on YouTube. But check us out. There's 4 of us. You're 2 of us tonight, but there's 4 of us on the panel. We don't always come out at the same time, but there's 4 of us, so you'll get 4 different perspectives on a certain situation. So please join us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And it's always a pleasure having you here. And you have a blessed night as well, brother. Luna, also always a pleasure having you on here, bro. He showed me, he sent me a text earlier today. He got 2 lids. Nice lids, bro. I love those 2 lids, bro. You got to put them on and share with everybody. But those lids were tight. Coach Timo, always a pleasure having you as well. Even where is he? Cassidy. Hey, enjoyed having you on the show as well, bro. Eric Paz, Nico, Jag, and 49er fan 24, Seattle boy. Thank you for stopping by. I love criticism. That's all good. Kathy Sanchez and everybody that came on tonight. And I don't know why I start reading names because I'm always going to miss a name here and there. So I should just keep it in general. But I tell myself, don't call out names because you're going to miss somebody. And I do it anyway. So if I didn't say your name, trust me, I appreciate you anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, Boston Hater, thank you for being a guest on my show, man. I appreciate
you know what? We've been talking about this for a while, and I just saw you come on, and I was like, "Hey, this is the time.
Yeah,
it's always get in there with them."
Always a pleasure, man. And the viewers had a great time having you on here. You're very knowledgeable, brother, and I love your wisdom. And I love that you don't beat around the bush. You say it the way it is, and I like that from you, brother. So thank you for stepping out. And again, real quick reminder: if you want to continue to see this guy in action and two others, excuse me, make sure to follow us on the NWA podcast on YouTube. Go there, NWA podcast. Check us out. The symbol is a microphone, and it says NWA. You can't miss it. I know there's two different channels. This is NWA. We're the guys with the microphone on the picture, so we're easy to find. And I got to start putting the description, that link on the description. I didn't do it tonight, but I'll start doing that in the future shows. I've been struggling tonight with this chest pain. But anyway, that is my cue to say good night for sure. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, we're out of here.